Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to the Choking Hazard Podcast episode 74 with my usual co-host, Sugar-Free Nos over there.
I'm sleepy.
He literally woke up 15 minutes ago. Josh is down there.
I woke up like 45 minutes ago, actually.
You woke up... What are you guys doing?
Staying up all night playing Civ.
Okay.
Staying up all night at work.
Okay.
Being another cog in the capitalist machine.
We've also got Hammer in the booth.
I woke up about an hour ago as well.
What? What are
We
you...
didn't set this up.
I was having a wee nap. What's the big deal?
Oh my god, what
You've
is
got
this?
to listen. You've got to have at least one nap a day when you get to my age. Fucking hell.
All right, okay. Well, the only one who's not here is RDT. He's
asleep.
He's probably asleep. Yeah, probably. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's actually he's somewhere with friends for something or other at a friend's place out of his own state. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's probably hungover right about now.
He probably is asleep. It's a good bet that he is. So in this episode, we're going to talk. Obviously, this is the first episode about GTA 6. It's the first episode after we've seen and had all those leaks. We're going to talk about them. We're going to discuss them between ourselves. First chance to do that since it happened. Obviously, me and Nos did a little half-hour conversation that went up on the podcast channel, but
which went very well. It seemed.
Yeah, people watched it.
Yeah, people actually watched
it.
Yeah, people watched something on the podcast channel. Oh. And we can talk a bit more about the fallout and stuff and the actual things surrounding the leak rather than just restricted to what we're talking about with the game itself. Mavis is wanting to make a cameo on Nos's side of things. No, she didn't want to come in?
No.
So, I mean, we'll get onto the GTA 6 stuff in a second because this is coming to the end of my stream week. I feel like I should mention we are at the end of it. This is the second last stream of my week of streams. I've been streaming every day since last Saturday. It's now this Saturday. And tomorrow I'm probably going to be doing 8 hours.
Of just G-Fred, probably?
No, definitely not. We'll be on Project Homecoming though for like 6 hours of those 8 hours around.
Oh, cool.
So that should be fun. But I'm going to be really tired because I'm going karting tomorrow for the first time in a long time.
Ooh,
real life racing's returning.
Oh hell yeah!
With the new camera that I've been allowed to wear because it goes inside the visor, inside the helmet. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it'll all go well. And then
how's the quality of the camera?
It's 4K. It's good. It's
wow, technology.
I'm going to be testing it. Basically, that's why I'm going tomorrow, which is the final round of the current season, and then I'm going to hopefully do every single round sort of next season. But I wanted to actually test out the camera, get back into it, that sort of stuff. So that's tomorrow. It just so happened that it landed on the busiest weekend of the year. So stuffing it all in. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's come out for the stream week. It's been fun. And this VOD will forever be part of the stream week as well. I always save all the VODs from the stream week. So, GTA 6. Has anyone got anything to say about it? Josh, you're the only one we haven't heard from, really.
Oh, okay, fine. I don't know. I heard it. The leaks happened, and I was like, okay, sure. And I looked at it, and I just tweeted some things that were like on the first day, everyone was like, "Oh, is this as real? Is this not, or whatever?" And I took like a few looks at the videos. And it's like, yeah, obviously this is real, guys.
Yeah.
Because people
it was very quickly.
If it wasn't, I want to play whatever game.
Yeah,
exactly.
To fake
I think that's what I tweeted.
Some people were like, "Oh, what if someone just modded GTA 5? Look, this has GTA 5 assets in it." And I'm just like, the amount of work. There were voice actors.
Yeah.
There was like modeling. There was like mission design. There was like a whole literal like. There's no way. Like it was obviously not real. Sorry. No, my God. Yes, real. yeah, it was insane. So I don't know. I took some time to watch all hour-long videos of it, and yeah, I get why there's a bunch of people that don't know how games are made, going like, "This looks bad," and
I
there was
don't
that
get
big.
that though. I don't get that people have been like, like surely if you played games and you know games, you know at least something that
Well,
whatever you're
they don't
seeing
play
isn't
games.
going
They
to
don't
be.
know games.
But
They're
how-
GTA fans.
Yeah, you
well,
gotta.
okay.
You're like the 5. You're like the 5% of gamers that use Twitch, right? Yet alone, everyone listening, right, is listening to a video game podcast. We're talking about
Yeah, I
people that just
suppose.
play FIFA and GTA, and that's it, right?
Oh yeah, okay, I get. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Those people are the ones that tweet that graphics are the first things finished in a game, right?
Yeah.
I laughed so much when I saw that. The best thing that's come out of this is that thread of game devs who were like tweeting, like quoting graphics of the first thing finished the game and then showing early game development footage of their game.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that with like like Spider-Man. I think it was one of the like the alphas or something, and it was just a lot of blocks in the vague shape of what it was eventually going to become. Like it's been good that we've seen that.
Yeah, it's called grey boxing. It's you like you design like you it's way easier to move a bunch of big grey blocks about for like gameplay reasons, like sight lines and enemy pathing and like, you know, where blocking out where you want a place to go and stuff. Because if you made all the art assets first, like morons insinuate what happens, then if you wanted to like move, you know, oh, this exit should be 5 meters or whatever closer to the end, you have to redo all the graphics. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So why does my laptop keep doing that? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I might die at some point. My laptop looks like it's breaking, keeps black screening. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, it was obviously real. I watched all hours of it. Yeah, I see why people are getting dumb about it because to me, what looks like has happened is someone has just got into some person. So someone works at Rockstar, obviously, and I think they're an animation programmer, maybe, and they like. All the footage is some mix of, hey, here's this weird bug. Dave, can you help me with it? Oh, sure, just send me a video of what it looks like. Okay. And then it's a weird bug that happens, like an animation. Animation glitches.
I got that vibe, that it was like 2 people or in a Slack chat or something, and it's like, okay, here's a video of what I'm seeing. How do I fix that or something like that?
Yeah. And or some of it is like showing what they've done, like, hey, look at the animations on this car, dude, like, oh, sick, right? You know, like that sort of stuff. I think it's an animation programmer or something. Some of it doesn't make sense because there was like one bit where they were using a tool to spawn a shipping container of vehicles.
Oh yes,
stuff in it.
I remember that.
I don't know what the animations to do with that. Maybe they're testing it on the bike. I don't know.
Also, I would just like to interject here and say, let's say that you are this animation programmer, and you have access to playing GTA 6. At some point, you're just gonna play it a little, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna walk around for a minute at the very least. It's not like you're always working, surely. I'm not saying like they're actually playing through the game or any nonsense like that. But it's like, they test animation, and somebody shoots at them, and then
do you eat
45
pizzas
seconds.
Do you eat pizzas from your pizza place?
Yes,
that you work at.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sure. Then I guess, but like, not all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Not all the time. That's my point here.
And I imagine, I don't know how it works, but I would assume that they wouldn't have access to like the full thing, right? Like they'll all be working on little individual parts that will come together at some point, but they might only be limited in what they can do.
Yeah, it's like there isn't a game to play.
Yeah,
really. It's like you can't play through like story or whatever.
Well, no, of course not. I guess I don't know how to help you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know you would just like mess around. Like I'm trying to be very careful.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, because some people get the idea in that when you. Oh, I see this a ton. When people think about game development, they think of the finished product and work like backwards, like but only a little bit. It's like there is no storyline to play through yet. There's no like collectibles to gather, and there's no saving. There's probably no save account creation. There's probably not even a main menu or anything. It's probably just like you have to like open a command console and spawn and in the exact scenario and stuff where you need to be.
There's actually very little to play, but ultimately you can probably still do a little bit of messing around here and there.
Yeah, but there's obviously a container full of vehicles you can spawn, and then you can drive a vehicle around for 30 seconds, be like, GTA 6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll be like that. Sure, definitely. Yeah, but not like they're not going to like play the storyline early or something.
Yeah, obviously.
But the thing that I got, like, from what I heard is that like the person who got this and hacked into the sort of Slack server or channel or whatever they call it, and these are videos that they were able to get from that. So it might not even just be one person, it might be just videos being passed back and forth and different people working on different parts that put the videos in there. Some of them might be like from different times on times of the game's development and things like that, and he just happened to download everything that was there. So that seems logical based on what we saw from the video.
So think of it like a Discord server, right? Like if you're an animation programmer, you would have access to Hash General, you'd have access to general programming, and you'd have access to animations, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't see like I don't know, like game design, or you wouldn't see like sound development. You wouldn't see like voice acting
or something. Or,
see, like,
you only have access to your subsection.
Yeah, the stuff that's So I think it's an animation programmer. There's some stuff that isn't animation programming in there, but it's like close enough that it makes sort of sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's impossible to tell. The only real identifying stuff you have is all the debug information that's like what computer it's running on and stuff.
Yeah.
I did plan to jot down all of it down the notes, but it didn't seem important enough to do. But it was like the GPU changed. I don't think the Windows build changed though. But yeah, I don't know.
There was a lot of people went really deep into it and looked at a lot of the like the text stuff, and there was cues based on what people think might happen, like as random events or things like that, and of these names of different things. Like there might be a area that's the Florida Keys, that there's a text related to a mission that's named Keys something or other. I didn't go that deep into it, but people have.
I'd also kind of deliberately avoided going that deep towards that, because that's actually semi-spoilers, you know?
Yeah,
in a way. Like, I don't want to know what Easter eggs are going to be in the game, you know?
But one thing, because I put up my video about it, talking about all the things that we could possibly glean from the videos in general terms, at least. And one of the things I thought, because there was reference to a Gellhorn racetrack, and Port Gellhorn is one of the locations because it's on one of the side of the one of the police cars. So there's going to be a place called Port Gellhorn, and it's going to have a racetrack, a racing circuit, because you can see on the top-down view of one of the videos that there's actually the hairpin of a racing circuit on one of the videos. So I thought that was going to be Homestead in Miami, like sort of down the south of Vice City. But I've since realized that there was actually coordinates on some of the videos of where the people were placed, and that racetrack looks like it's in the northwest of the map. So that could be more like a Sebring area, small town in the northwest, kind of like Palito Bay is to Los Santos, and might be a racetrack there. That's my correction to myself from that video, based on the coordinate information.
Well, what's going to be a great meme is when it turns out to be a horse racing track where you bet. And it has nothing.
People said that, but you can actually see the hairpin of an actual racing circuit. Like, it looks like a hairpin.
Okay, so the coordinate system are you assuming it's the same as GTA 5's coordinates?
I think people have been, yes.
Right, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, what if they're like flipped to the way you think they are?
It could be all opposite, but yeah.
But also, so there's also a lot of leaks in the past have been talking about how it's also going to feature like islands like Cuba and stuff.
Yeah.
like south of that. So it may just be that it's just like really far. Sure, it's the top left, but the top left compared to like Cuba is
Yeah, fair
Miami.
point. Yeah. I guess
Maybe we can go to Guarma. Maybe we can
Yeah.
take a return trip to Guarma.
I mean, I guess
But
I'm basing it also off sort of like looking at the map of Miami and Florida and seeing what they could include. Like, I kind of thought that if you go off over to the left, you've got like Tampa and St. Petersburg where they do an IndyCar race, and there's a racetrack there. But I thought that's probably too far. They're not going to put a whole different city in like that. So you bring it a little bit further in, and then top left ends up being sort of just north of where the big lake is, and that's Sebring. So that just the fact that it kind of links up with, real life locations in that way. But, ultimately we don't know. But I enjoy doing this sort of thing. I enjoy trying to like figure stuff out based on what we've seen. Except, as Nos said, it's like story spoilers and things like that. I don't want to actually know what I'm going to experience.
So if there is a racetrack, what do you think it's even going to be used for?
That's what I mean. I don't know. I mean, how big is NASCAR in Florida, Nos?
Big. It's the South, brother. NASCAR's huge. It is the only motorsport. That's it. Other than small time stuff. When
I thought it was going to be sort of Homestead down the south, that's a dual sort of, it's a speedway and then the infield as well. And I thought maybe they would create it as an oval with some road section too. But the hairpin that you can see on one of the videos just looks like the hairpin of a Barcelona or something like that. It's just a normal racetrack with no speedway sections or big ovals. So I don't know, but you look a bit confused if it was just a normal circuit and they didn't include some sort of NASCAR element to it, especially if it's down there. But who knows? Who knows how they're going to use it?
Maybe if it's far north enough, maybe it's Daytona.
Yeah, again, that's another one, but that's northeast. So it doesn't work with the coordinates. The fact that this track is in the northwest, which is more Sebring territory. But hey, we'll see.
What else? I mean, it was me, wasn't it? What else did I see? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of GTA 5 assets, obviously, but that's just them working on the thing. All of the polish will come right before launch, as it does with all games.
Yeah, it's like the last thing.
AAA. Yeah, because there's no reason to polish stuff. Like I said, you'd polish it, and then someone wants to change something, and then you'd have to do all the polishing, and it's pointless. So that all comes last. Okay. What about female protagonists? Did you talk about that, or is that a scary topic?
I hope it's not a scary topic.
Yeah. I mean, did we talk about it a little bit on that? I don't know whether we did. We were talking more about.
I mean, I know I talked about my general approval of the character models themselves, and I'm kind of excited to play these two characters and see the customization options for both of them.
I was initially our first conversation was literally on the day that the leaks happened, wasn't it? And. Mm-hmm. I was
big sad.
I was big sad about the fact that this is the first experience of GTA 6 that I've had. I didn't really want that, but I got over it over the last few days, and that's when I decided to make the video that I did, going in more depth. And I've started to open up to the videos themselves. And yeah, everything that you said in that video was right. It is enough to make you excited about it. I initially was with those characters, I was thinking, I'm just not really feeling it, but then I don't know anything about them. And then I started to think of how these characters could initially, be starting with nothing. And then, the Nico Bellic's kind of classic Grand Theft Auto story where they start nothing and then you get through the story and they're successful and things. And I think that's where GTA sort of
or
works
they're
best.
Not. Or they're not. I don't know if Nico Bellic was successful.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, but it's an element of rags to riches to a certain degree.
Guys, sorry to interrupt. We've been joined by a special guest.
Hey,
no
where's
way.
the freaking gabagool?
Have you been sleeping?
No, I'm
Oh, wow.
I'm not anywhere I can do a podcast, quite honestly.
Okay. You wanted to just
It's
pop
a
in.
call in. It's a call in.
Yeah, I wanted to check in. I wanted to, talk about, GTA 6, how it looks amazing, how people don't know what game development is, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're working on getting all that actually. I think we're all on the same wavelength here.
All right, great to
how
know
long
we have a hive mind.
how long do you have with
Yes.
us?
I was probably just gonna pop in for like 30 seconds. I just wanted to say the
Okay.
Gabagool line and get out of here.
So you have seen the GTA 6 videos then?
I have, yeah.
And has it made you more excited about it?
I wouldn't say more excited, but
No.
it hasn't like crushed my excitement.
No.
I think it looked fine. Like it looked like an early development game.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, if they just put out, I mean, they've sold GTA 5 like 14,000 times. They could put out friggin' GTA 5 tomorrow on the Nintendo Switch and 1 million people would buy it. So whatever Rockstar puts out, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true, but I think it does have the elements that are gonna come together and make it, another blockbuster like they keep doing. People seem to write them off, and we can be annoyed at them for sticking around with GTA 5 for so long, but they still, when they actually put something out, it is still high quality.
Yeah, I mean, just 4 years ago, Red Dead 2. I mean,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be on top of that again, and I've seen
Yeah,
numbers
one thing,
like 2 billion for the the budget for it or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. The one thing I did want to point out, like, about the graphics, people were kind of ragging on the graphics and everything.
No, not people, idiots.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I feel like I don't want GTA 6 to look like Red Dead Redemption 2. I feel like GTA needs to have not a cartoony look, but a little bit less realistic vision than something like Red Dead.
It seems like they're not doing that though. Like especially with the the whole inventory system seemed like they're gonna do the Red Dead stuff where you can only carry a set number of weapons and you've got gear and a set number of gear and you might have a bag and you can transfer stuff to your bag, but it's all restricted. It feels like they're going down the Red Dead route more with the realism, which to be honest for me, Red Dead 2 it was a little bit annoying, honestly.
Yeah, game's trash. No one buy it. Cancel Rockstar.
It depends what balance they hit with that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think you are in a minority with that, though.
Maybe. I mean, I probably am. I just think, like, when I play Red Dead, I'm not a serial killer, but every once in a while in GTA, I like to hop on there and cause some mayhem. I feel like if you do an ultra realistic GTA, that's just one step below being an actual psychopath. Like, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think it'll be ultra realistic. I think people are like jumping to too much of a conclusion on the ultra realistic. I mean, I'd use the word maybe authentic before realistic. Like, I mean, being able to carry 2 long arms on your back. I mean, is that necessarily realistic? Like, nobody does that. It's just
Speak for yourself.
yeah, okay, brother. But I mean, it's just to kind of limit the character in a way and make the character not as powerful, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, actually, IDT. When you wanted to have those crazy... GTA still should be able to have some crazy moments, and you don't tend to, like, when you look at Red Dead 2, you don't really have that sort of thing, do you? Because it's so far. It's just it is a completely different game, though, so I'm hoping that they'll find the right balance with that.
It sounds like we're all talking about GTA 4 after playing San Andreas or something. Like, it's too realistic.
Oh, I hated people's take on GTA 4.
Well, that's what you guys are saying now.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
To be fair, GTA 5 did go back a bit, like, towards arcadiness.
It did, actually.
So, who knows?
I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like GTA 6 is maybe trying to aim to be in between what GTA 4 and GTA 5 was, which I think is a good area to be.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're just taking every game they've made since GTA 4 and like smashing it into one in a way. You know, like taking some combat cues from Red Dead 2 and Max Payne 3. You've got, some GTA 5 influence in there and GTA 4. Like it
Bring
just
the
seems like
skateboard back from Bully, that'd be dope.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you genuinely never know. There could be a skateboard in the game. Who knows?
I mean, especially if they were developing Bully 2 and there was reports that got cancelled, they could just bring in some of the stuff from that maybe and be like, oh, well, we'll put this into the next GTA instead. And I mean, when you look at the sort of the side stuff you can do in GTA 5, these now it feels kind of, we've done the tennis and the darts and whatever it is. There was bowling in GTA 4. I feel like GTA 6 has the potential to take that to another level, just losing yourself in the world doing other stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I do hope that there is more side content to do that's not just like a one-time side content. Like not just a bunch of stranger missions,
Yeah.
No yoga. Also, no yoga, please.
Yeah, no yoga.
Yeah, no yoga, yeah. Is yoga big in Florida?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna have you wrestle an alligator. That'd be sick.
It's likely there will be alligators in the game. I mean, you just take them from Red Dead, just boom, they're there.
Ah, yeah, that's a good
Bingo.
point. In the Everglades.
Yeah, remember there's animals in GTA 5, remember?
Yeah, that's true.
Just not online.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, there's like 5 different animals, but like in Red Dead 2, there's like 500 different animals. So
they do have all of the animal designers and tech and stuff that they used for Red Dead 2 still, probably. So maybe there will be like a lot. There's definitely like a hovercraft vehicle, right? So there's gonna be like a thing where you're going through the swamps and there's gonna be the crocodiles and stuff. Surely that's easy mission to design, right? Yeah, it's easy content.
Oh, fan boat shootout. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there will be a fan boat shootout for sure.
Yeah, the one of the protagonists drives and the other one shoots, and you can switch between which one you want to do.
Chased.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait till GTA 6, like the multiplayer's here, and hopefully there'll be a cheetah classic where I can paint it white.
Yeah.
I can have a pastel suit. It's gonna be great.
Bring back the Vice City vibes.
Exactly. Miami Vice.
I wouldn't be surprised if they added a cheetah classic that had a little siren in it as well, as a little nod to that. The car that was in Vice City by the cops. Was it 3 stars? You used to get that car? The cops would drive that? Or 2 stars in Vice City?
It wasn't 2, 3, I think.
2. Must be 3.
Yeah. I thought it was higher than that, actually, but could be wrong.
It's been a while since I played.
Because I feel like that was the... How many wanted stars are there in Vice City?
I mean, there was 6, right, back in the day. So it was either 3 or 4. I don't think it was as low as 2, but I thought it was 3.
Oh no, I'm the retro game speedrunner and I can't remember how many stars you get. The thing. I'm pretty sure it's 3 stars. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
The chat is saying 2 and 3 stars. I'm sure it's 3.
This is when I download the game right now and check.
I hope there's a lot of... I'm sure there will be. There's going to be a lot of nods to Vice City. There's going to probably be a lot of nods to like 80s Vice City, I imagine, in this game. Even though we're going to be in modern day Vice City, it'll probably... I imagine they'll still have like the remnants of the old town sort of thing, and maybe still some of the remnants of the classic music vibe and stuff like that. I'm curious the way that they'll take it and the way that they'll treat all of this, and especially the map. I'm just curious about like how it's going to look and what we're going to be able to do and the variety, because it's been 10 years since we've had something new.
Yeah,
If I had
yeah.
well, what else? Like, if I had to wager a guess, so like the theming of like the theming of GTA 5 and like LA and California and whatnot is like kind of like a hyper like accelerationism kind of vibe, you know, of like going into the future and all this technology and everything like that. I mean, if I was designing the world and the story, I'd do the exact opposite for over there. It's like a city that's clinging to the past, and
Right,
people
yeah,
that are
yeah,
clinging to
yeah.
the past, and they don't want to let go of the glory days, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like Michael, but like a whole city, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for the Ron DeSantis character. That there's going to be a crazy Florida governor.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be great.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm still excited. Like, I know there's a first time for everything, but has there ever really been a bad Rockstar game?
Red Dead Online.
That's an offshoot, you know.
I guess mainline games, not really. Certainly not for a long time. I mean, they just put so much time. Like I was going to say earlier, what have people at Rockstar been doing for the last 10 years? And it's been probably doing things progressively for GTA 6. So it's almost like they've been working on it for so long, and they've got so much in it, so much potential, and so much money to spend on it. It would be very difficult for it to be anything that doesn't dwarf what else is out there game-wise.
Okay, I'm going to go through a list of bad Rockstar games. Okay, in reverse chronological order.
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
No. Okay. So first off, the definitive edition. Remember that, guys?
All right.
Yeah, but it wasn't really Rockstar main group Rockstar North developers, was it?
What about the mobile versions before that? I mean, that was also ported, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like original stories. You know, like because the base games, when the definitive edition games came out, like Vice City, GTA 3, and San Andreas are great games. It's just their updated versions are not.
Okay, what about Rockstar Games Presents Table Tennis?
Table tennis. No, that was actually good.
Game
That was actually good.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, okay.
I never played it. I've still never played it.
The earliest one, I think, is Grand Theft Auto Advance, which is a mainline game. It was on Game Boy Advance, so you're all blanking because none of you have heard of it. It came out 2004.
I remember it existing and coming out, but I never bought it, and I will be playing it on my playthroughs of GTA.
Good. Today. Okay, then I won't ruin it. Enjoy it. It's great.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, with that smirk. I mean,
yeah, that's it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean they've done all right with the big mainline games, especially now that they've spent so much time on these things. So I'm confident that at least the mainline. I don't really have any confidence in the direction of the online specifically, but that's up in the air, and that's secondary to like the actual main GTA 6. I think they'll do well.
Here's the thing that I wanted to ask about. So, given Rockstar's use of online features a ton now, and given the fact that there's two protagonists that seem pretty close together, and like more than GTA 5, it was like 3 different characters that sometimes would do stuff together. Here it seems like there's 2 characters that would reasonably be together all the time. How would you feel about co-op?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I mean, when's the last time that we had a good 2-player co-op game? You know, like probably never, to be quite honest. So I wouldn't mind it. Although now that you bring that up, I hope that there is some kind of way that you can separate the characters or whatever. Like you can leave one at the safe house sometimes, because I feel like it would probably get pretty annoying if you had like a permanent AI follower. You know, like I feel like. You know,
yeah,
like waiting on a character to get in a car and like all that stuff. Like I feel like that could be pretty annoying.
I can't see them doing that. Like I can't see them making them have to be together all the time. I think they'll go off and do their own things from time to time. But
yeah, see, chat brought it up. The Lamar missions make me think that they were experimenting with co-op. because the Le Mans missions are
with
two-player
Lamar
co-op
and Franklin
missions.
online.
It's a story mission. It's co-op, and there's 2 characters.
I mean, maybe.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would be able to detract from the experience of the game. Like, I
the
think
only question would be whether it restricted a little bit too much what you could do. Like, if they had to make restrictive choices because they needed to shoehorn in the co-op aspect. Although theoretically, if you look at like the heists and stuff, like even the original heists, you had 2 teams go off in completely different areas of the map to do 2 completely different missions, essentially. I think it was the Prison Break heist. Like, I guess there could be an element of that even in a co-op.
I feel like Rockstar has done so much consolidation of like teams and everything. That's why like their games are huge now, because they have all these different devs and they work together. They consolidate all the time, and like now for the past God knows how many years, like 10 almost, all they've done is work on GTA Online and Red Dead. But then Red Dead Online and like GTA Online, right? I would think, and like they have 2 versions of GTA 5 they've been maintaining for ages, which is the single player version and the online version, right? And now it's like they're only focusing on the online version. I would hazard a guess that they would be very interested in combining those 2 things into a single experience. And I would guess, I'm probably totally wrong. I'm just taking a completely wild guess just so I look like a genius if this is true.
Yes.
But I would guess that that like if they could make it so that online and the single player were the same thing, they would save themselves a lot of trouble and like have the same coherent okay, so I'm sidetracking a bit, but Minecraft used to have 2 versions. They had the single player version, they had the multiplayer version, and each version had loads of bugs and they couldn't fix them all fast enough, right? And there were all these problems and stuff. And one day they fixed every single player bug in a single day. Do you know what they did? They removed single player. Single player is just multiplayer. When you click single player in Minecraft, it starts a server in the background and you connect to that server.
Okay.
I would hazard a guess that if they could do the same sort of thing with GTA 6, or sorry, some future GTA 7, maybe co-op is the first step towards it. But if they could have like if they could focus all of their development on the online version of GTA, that they would be able to make like a way better singular version of the game. Because I'm not explaining myself very well, but the problem is when GTA Online had so many network problems, right? It was hackers and stuff all the time. It was terrible when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
I didn't play it when it first came out.
Still is now.
Yeah. But now they like totally focused on that, and they just completely abandoned the single player. I know most people here never played GTA 5 single player because they're not speedrunners, but let me tell you, it's you going back in time and playing a game from 10 years ago. They haven't updated it at all. Never touched it.
And they never did any DLC or single player.
And it's stuff like your cars get deleted and like insurance and stuff, and like there's the only features that aren't in online are like the market share, the
stock
market and animals. Those are the only things I can think of, right? So yeah, anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's way easier if they have one version of the game that they make and develop that does all of the things they want to do, and it's way easier to make the single player version online than it is to make the online version single player, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say a co-op would be a beginning towards that. So that's my absolute like completely crazy out there idea. That probably isn't true. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But like,
hey man, San Andreas had co-op.
Yeah, but right now, Rockstar spends God knows how much money to make the single player version of the game, and then actually make their money on the online version.
Yeah, it's kind of duality there.
Yeah, and all the accountants, and investors, and stuff are just like, why are we spending all this money making a single player version? Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure where that takes us, but yeah.
IDT, are you wanting to go and spend time with people who you actually in real life with?
Yeah, I was waiting for a lull, and Josh went on.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's Josh. That's why we love him.
I should have waited for Nas to make a witty one-liner. I'm out. Okay.
Thanks for popping in, though. It was good to actually have you to hear some thoughts, at least.
Yeah, thanks for having me, of course. I'll talk to you guys later.
See you next month.
Bye.
By the way, you didn't even show the RDT photo.
I'm waiting for us to get to a life update section.
Oh,
let's finish the GTA
man,
portion.
He's such a good-looking man. I swear.
Well, I mean, just to go on with what you were saying, like I said a few years ago that I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 was just an online thing and it was a story with your own online character who you then just did an online, experience with after that. Obviously, they haven't gone down that route because they've got
I'm glad.
main characters. I'm glad too. I didn't want that. I just thought, especially like Josh says, with the things they've done with GTA Online and the things that they've experimented with the heists and the teams and the missions and all that kind of stuff, it felt like they seem like they're trying to do this sort of thing to make a more story-based experience for an online character to the point where you could just have one online game with one character and that's your story game as well. But I don't know. I agree that having two separate versions is difficult, but also when they add so much to online, then it would necessarily change the single player as well. Or if they've got to think about the single player experience when they add an online feature, like every DLC they add for online, they did used to add the DLC cars and things to single player in GTA 5, and then they stopped after a while. I can't see how they would be able to make that work. They add a car that suddenly becomes overpowered in a mission that's early on in the game and it completely breaks the single player experience. I don't see how they can continually update an online version whilst also being part of a single player experience as well.
Yeah, imagine you play through GTA 5 single player, but you have an oppressor the whole time.
I would argue what you just said still applies to online. Like, you can do the same thing on online. Like, if you have an oppressor, like remember how some of the heists where you need to use an armored Kuruma or whatever. It's you might
absolutely
drive a stronger car than the armored Kuruma is to the armored Kuruma to pick it up for the mission, right?
But what I mean is it's at least separate from the main story-driven aspect of the game. An online story doesn't matter as much as a full-on story experience.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying consolidation of those two things. If the story was only online, like you said, then it'd be the same problems.
Yeah. It'd just be difficult. It would be difficult, but maybe I'm not. I'm curious now about a potential co-op. It's a potential.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. I don't think there's any evidence for it.
Yeah,
it was just something I thought of, some crazy thing that could be true. I think if it was actually true, we would have had leaks about it by now.
Yeah, probably.
Someone would have said something, because that would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But it still makes me think of what would they do? Why are they doing the whole single player has $10 billion in budget and the multiplayer probably has a lot less but makes a lot more, right? Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how because that was the problem that's why I suggested that they might just have a one online version for GTA 6 and it's your single character and you go through the story with them, because I couldn't see how what they do with the online version of the next game. Especially after GTA Online it's full of stuff now. It's interesting how they're going to approach it, honestly. I mean, personally, I would prefer they just, start from scratch. But a lot of people have left comments on videos that I've put up saying I just wouldn't even bother because I've spent years building up a load of stuff in GTA Online and then starting from scratch again. But, it is a different game and it's 10 years later. So I would like that.
That's the thing. I do want to start from scratch.
Yeah.
I want to be a new character with everyone else who is a new character and have that experience again.
Yeah.
I think you've brought this up before, and I've mentioned this is the problem with World of Warcraft and why people still play it, because if you don't want to switch to a new MMO, but that's a different game. Imagine trying to make World of Warcraft 2, where you lose all of your stuff, but it's the same game again, right? No one's going to do it. So yeah, I don't know. I also don't know what they do with GTA Online. Is an interesting question.
Almost feels like they have to. There's been rumors of this used to be called GTA America as a project name, and they scaled it down a little bit. And the idea that they might add cities over time, whether that is the sort of thing that's needed to make a GTA Online 2 be worthwhile starting again for some people, where it is going to be like a 10 or 15 year thing that new cities get added, new stuff gets added for that amount of time, and then you feel like, okay, I can start again because I've got a lot of stuff in front of me.
Also, I would like to say that these people are I don't want to start again. Well, they're gonna start again when the game comes out. They're gonna start again, and that's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I don't know. I just can't understand I can't understand wanting to go into a brand new game and have everything immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or still have all your old stuff back in Los Santos or something, and it's I don't want that.
Yeah, it's the whole progression thing of what more is there to add to online? You have submarines, you have yachts, you have the missiles and all sorts of stuff. If you went to
most of the stuff it should not have been added.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But then if you if you want to make this new online 5 more years, you need to add 5 more years of escalation on top of that content. What do you do, right?
Yeah, there's only so much so far you can take it.
Mm-hmm.
How did GTA Online even end up with things like the Oppressor? I
know.
I wonder who made those decisions? It's so strange.
I wonder where that idea starts. Does the idea start with someone goes, "Hey, I want a flying bike. How do we shoehorn this in and make missions?" Or do they think of some missions?
Hey, I played Saints Row 3 the other day.
That's more just general power / design creep, right? That happens with any sort of long-term video game. We're at God, that's too complicated to explain. But there's examples of this happening, right? Where if you want to sell the new thing has to be better for some reason than the old thing, and it just when you work on it for so long, it just escalates to a certain point. It gets absolutely stupid. But yeah, I mean, it's all these things are fun, and they get more technology, car-wise, programming wise. Now we can make things that shoot things, right, and bulletproof and flying, and it just all goes one way, right? Players want power all the time, and it's a game designer's job to make people not optimize the fun out of a game, right?
Yeah.
So the oppressor is the flying bike, right?
Yeah.
That's just it's just optimal, so people want it, and then they're happy to sell it to them.
That's really strange that you say that players want power in games. I don't actually. That's not what I want in games. Very strangely, in fact, that's why I liked Red Dead so much. And I kind of want to be on the equal footing with my enemies, so that my power comes from being good at the video game.
I guess I mean more upgrades, right? You still wouldn't, unless you were challenging yourself. We are kind of again 1% gamers were on Twitch streaming, but you wouldn't intentionally pick up a worse gun than the gun you had, right? You'd naturally want to upgrade.
Yeah, well, that's where you balance the weapons to where they all have a purpose and a use and are viable.
Side grades is the dream. Yes, but it's impossible. It's an impossible dream to only ever have side grades. Something is always going to be better than other thing. People will work it out and people will optimize it and be actually, this gun is better in all ways than this one, or overall, or whatever. Or yeah.
Well, and that's true, but I guess maybe people
for God's sake, this man ranks every single car in the entire game about how fast they are compared to that's his business. Right?
Yes, but we still use a lot of the cars in the game that aren't the best.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure, but not everyone, I guess. People still want to know what the best is. It's a very
different prospect, the general GTA population to the niche communities within the game.
Yeah.
And trying to balance the game with all that in mind. You just gotta go. They make the most money by going to the lowest common denominator and giving the most powerful, crazy things.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about like the game and the gameplay and where it could lead. Does anyone have any thoughts about like the leaks themselves? Like, I was kind of down about the fact that we saw GTA 6 the first time from this, and I still feel like that. I wish that it hadn't happened. Like, how are you guys on that? Neither
fine.
of you have any thoughts, obviously.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty indifferent on it. I mean, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I liked looking at all the debug stuff
Right.
and seeing like I the only reason I'd go back and watch the videos is to look at all of the like actual debug menu stuff they have and try to figure things out.
Yeah.
But that's like game development stuff, I guess. I don't know, from like a gameplay perspective. It's weird, right? Because I was always going to play GTA 6. There was never a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know how much I care. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. So when we talk about the fallout of these leaks, supposedly the guy who did it, he has been
The child.
Yeah, he's 17, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's been found and arrested in the UK, and he's pled not guilty because he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. So that's gonna run and run and run for a while, no doubt. But the fact that he's a minor, probably gonna, I can't see him getting, anything.
I mean, at the end of the day, what are we going to do to this 17-year-old that got into somebody's Slack account that didn't have two-factor authentication on? Like, I mean, that's not how it happened, I'm sure, but, I mean, obviously, this guy is not the anonymous, right? Like,
yeah.
Like he's just he's probably just a 17-year-old kid that.
Supposedly, he also was responsible for Uber and like Microsoft and all these other hacks as well. I think, from what I understand, he went rogue from the hacking group that he was in, and they had a falling out. Like, it is all childish shit.
Yeah, you say hacking group and wave your hands around, but it's just a bunch of guys on Discord that are like, hey, let's just see if we can get into this company. Yeah, okay, let's go through the checklist of all the usual things, like try their login pages, try social engineering or whatever. I don't know, I'm not like, but it is just like, yeah, they're not like mastermind criminals or anything.
No,
it's just
no.
Yeah.
He's a 17-year-old child. Like,
they're just seeing what they can get away with.
So security is a lot worse than people like it to believe it is.
Yeah.
On everything. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at least we got a lot to talk about. We got something out of it. We got to be maybe a little bit more excited about the next game.
Yeah. I will say that the only other thought that I had, like, it goes back to graphics a little bit. I think this is going to be a very good-looking game, based on what we've seen so far. Like, from just a couple of the small details. Like, the thing that stood out to me is that, like, the woman character, like, her shirt was, like, slightly transparent in almost a way to where you could see, like, her bra strap on her back. Like, so there's going to be some kind of, like, I feel like there's going to be some kind of gradient of fabric on the clothing, which is pretty cool, I think.
Oh, like different layers of clothing you can see through another layer or something like it.
Yeah. Because that stood out to me graphically. Is like, wow, like that's, why are you focused? How are you nodded? You're staring at her back, like. Well, no, you're probably staring at her ass, you misogynist pig. So,
I wish I knew modern game graphics rendering stuff, so I knew what you were talking about, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's this new thing that's people are doing now, or whatever." Yeah, but yeah, that's cool. I didn't know. I didn't pay any attention to the graphics at all. I completely blanked all of that. I didn't pay.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like, I feel like what you're looking at graphics wise is like just almost like the geometry and the textures in like a vacuum compressed to 720p with no no graphical effects at all, if that makes any sense.
Shaders is what you're. Yeah. Like
it's like the
absolute
like that, basic level before anything gets put on, and even for
I
that,
mean,
it was
in
very
reality, it's probably that's probably what the game is going to look like on the ultra low settings. Where you go into the INI files and edit it just how Digital Foundry told you to, so that it will run on your iPhone.
Yeah.
So, actually, speaking of that sort of stuff, what consoles do you think this is coming out on?
It's got to be just PS5 and Series consoles, surely.
Hope so.
Because I don't remember where I heard this, but in some of the clips you can see that they're using a PS4 development kit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Surely there's no way they could put it on PS4.
But this stuff was from 2019, wasn't it? So they could have still been using the old dev kit, I guess. Unlikely, but
I don't know if you'd change. I feel like if you started working on the game in 2019, you would target platforms, and then you would stay with those targeted platforms. You wouldn't update, because then
is anybody buying a PlayStation 4 now? Like, does anyone buy a new PlayStation 4 anymore?
It's more
I'm
how many
sure
people
they
have
do
PS5s,
in smaller markets, but
yeah, it's more the fact that there's like over 100 million PS4s out there to sell the game to, in comparison to the number of PS5s and Series consoles that people still can't get.
And I mean, Rockstar did pretty good releasing it on 7 different consoles or whatever, right? GTA 5, that is. So I feel like they would target as much as they could.
They did release GTA 5 on the 360 and PS3. I mean,
exactly.
Looking back, it ran like garbage, but we were happy with it at that time.
But
was the Xbox One and PlayStation 4
no, but it wasn't
out
far away.
Okay, hold on. They would not have been out, but there is no way in hell Rockstar did not have early development kits. If you're Sony or Microsoft, the first people you give development kits to is Rockstar, right?
Yeah, but I'm sorry if I'm sort of like stepping over the person that's actually done games development stuff, but like if they started work on it way before 2019, then they could have had a build before the PS5 dev kits came out, and the PS5 dev kits were like, right, we need to try and get this like up and running first, and like work out how it all works and whatnot. So they could have still had footage of old PS4 stuff. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come out on PS4. I don't think it will come out on PS4 at all.
I don't know. I'm not sure, honestly, because I don't know how credible it's a PS4 dev kit footage is, because it's a Windows build they're playing, obviously, because that's what you would develop on. Because not every dev would have a dev kit with them, and pushing to it and building stuff would take ages. But anyway, I don't know. I would say that if it had been in development since 2019, is that what you said on the timestamps on it? Well,
yeah. That's what the news story said. The timestamps are all 2019 timestamps.
Right. Then there is no way it doesn't come out on the older consoles, because like this is a thing in game dev where you can get caught up in new technology all the time. The game that never came out for a billion years, Duke Nukem. What was it, Duke Nukem Forever or whatever? That's what happened to that game. Is like it started development, and then a new stuff came out, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll stop developing for old stuff and move forwards. But then you basically just start again, and it creates this situation. Like the art assets and everything would have to be upped, but it's mainly a programming problem. And it's like everything else can be done. You can have all the voices and everything, but if you need to retarget a new generation of consoles, it doesn't matter how done all that stuff is if the important stuff, the game running, isn't done. And this is a thing that happens to a lot of stuff for like vaporware and things like that, where it just gets caught up in updating forever. This is Star Citizen is doing this now as well, where they keep updating the engine that they're using and having to make new stuff for it, and it just never comes out now.
Suppose I'm taking into account as well, there's been a number of high profile games just recently that have said, oh yeah, we're coming out on PS4, and then they've been like, oh no, this is delaying us too much. We're going to drop the PS4. So I don't know.
We started to see the first couple of
market.
games now that have stopped doing PS4.
When they originally said that they were going to support it, and they're like, it's taking too much time, dump it.
I've actually got the dates that obviously GTA came out late September, GTA 5 2013. The PS4 launched in November 2013. And then I think the PS4 version of GTA, it came out fairly soon, like, wasn't it like the following November or something? So a year after the PS4 released. So we only really had the old gen versions of the game for a year. But we did have it before the new gen versions came out. Like now we've been a couple of years into PS5 and series consoles. I can't see them putting it back onto the old consoles at this point.
I don't know.
I mean, and just in general, I hope they don't. As someone who owns a 3070 Ti, like I don't want like literal potatoes holding back my game. Like
it's like you said, the lowest common denominator thing you said earlier. Like if they started making the game when the other consoles are out, if they target PS4 and Xbox whatever, then they'll know it will run on PS5 and Xbox whatever, right?
Yeah, but limiting the game, like,
GTA 5 was on 360 and it's doing perfectly fine, Broughy. I don't know, man. I don't
know whether perfectly fine is the right thing to say, but like,
financially, yes.
Financially, yeah.
That's the only thing that matters.
That's true.
Like, what did Red Dead 2 come out on? Was that PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Then, is there a PS5 version of it? I don't know. I don't play consoles.
No, there actually isn't, is there? No.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know then. I don't know. I would say they would do the lowest common denominator. And they have enough manpower to release the game on multiple consoles at once.
But if we're looking at this game coming out in like 2024, maybe even 2025, the people will be talking about like the PS6 or the PS5 Pro or something. Like, surely I can't.
That is true, actually.
I can't.
No. You're right. I am thinking from a release today perspective. You are right, actually. I don't know, honestly. I'm not sure.
We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah. I'll play it on PC, so I don't care.
Well, you're not going to be able to play it day one anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hope not. Not again. Not again.
Yeah, well, they never release it. I mean, you don't even have the expanded and enhanced versions of GTA Online on PC yet. It's not. It's gonna be
true, but I mean, what is expanded and enhanced? There's like 7 cars with higher engine power. It's like,
yeah, and also frame rate doesn't affect speed anymore.
Really, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, they fixed it.
What do you mean they fixed it? How they fix it? Where's the fact finding video on this?
It was released like a week after Expanded and Enhanced came out.
Oh shit! Oh
yeah, we talked about it on the podcast.
I'm sure we did. Maybe you were.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was extremely surprised that this had happened. Like, extremely.
Yeah. Oh. You know what? I like going really fast at 100 FPS. Okay.
Yeah, that version never got released on PC though, so it's still broken there.
Yeah, you can still have your fun there for now, at least. We'll see if they add it.
Nah, it's over there.
Yeah, I feel like they've probably just given up on PC like completely because
I wouldn't be surprised. It is a mess.
Yeah, it's not worth playing. So
yeah. I've given up on it. I don't play it on PC anymore. Right. Well, I guess that was a good amount of GTA 6 talking. We covered plenty.
I think so. I can't think of anything else.
We'll do something we never do. For those watching this on a YouTube video on the podcast channel, to the 200 new subscribers since GTA 6 leaks were released, and I pushed the podcast channel. Leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. We've had the chat here on live telling us their thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. Let's get some engagement on the podcast channel.
Yes, engagement.
All right. I mean, we can then, cover the next few things. Let's do some life updates first, because RDT said if there are any life updates, he has a haircut. I should show him, since he can't be here to show us.
He's
himself.
such a good-looking man. He's such a good-looking man, and I love that tie.
His luscious locks are gone. That is a pretty spiffy tie, though.
That is a pretty good tie.
He is a very good-looking man. Hot damn, as Dinmite says.
Yeah, that's right. What a man.
So I guess we'll see that in person if he decides to turn up next month.
Yeah, probably not with the tie, but we'll see there.
Not in the suit, I imagine. Josh, you are in once again a new location.
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah. I promise this is not intentional, because most of the time I forget the podcast is even happening.
I think that's all of us but Bruff. I think, actually.
Yeah.
Most of the time, even me, I'm like, it gets to the end of the month, and I'm like, oh wait, the podcast is like the first of October as it is now. Got to plan that. Got to see if they were going to be available.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I don't know. My life the past year has just been nothing but traveling somehow, which is insane for me to think about now. I don't know how it's worked out like this, but yeah, no, I'm just here to look after. Maybe I could even show. Oh, this might go horribly wrong.
Yes, dog. Yes.
There's a dog.
Yeah, dog cam.
I am looking after the dog, as I have done a few times in the past. Oh god. My laptop is balancing on a Wingspan European expansion box, and the box is smaller than the laptop. Okay, there we go. Intentionally. Yeah, it's intentional so I can move my keyboard more underneath it to have more room. But yeah, I've been here for 3 weeks looking after the dog because my parents went on they went to a wedding in Turkey, and they've been there for ages.
Okay.
They come back tomorrow, so if this podcast had been next week, I would have just been in my normal location and it would have been not as funny.
How many rooms is this now that you've done the podcast from in this house?
Oh yeah. So this is my parents' office that I set up in like a semi-permanent, like I have like a monitor here on a monitor arm and everything.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to be somewhere more than 2 weeks, you set up like a permanent station somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm on her desk. This is the office. Then I've done it from the bedroom, which is a few doors that way, like on the floor in front of the bed. And I've also done it in the living room, which is
always
directly below
a good
me.
place to do it, by the way.
Yeah. All the dining. Yes, very good. I did it in the dining room. Yeah.
Wow, you've just done it all over that.
Oh yeah, I've done it everywhere. No, so there's. I reckon the next time I'm here, I should do this podcast in the living room to complete the set. Really.
Yeah. Get all the rooms done.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bathroom too. You gotta get the bathroom.
The bathroom's right here. Actually, I could probably do that.
All right. So you're going back to Ireland soon?
Yep. Tuesday. I'm going back. So in a few days.
So you'll actually be in the place for once. You'll be in the place where you live.
Yes, I will be there for a month without leaving.
Wow.
So yes, I'll actually be there properly.
Any other life updates of any note?
Not that I can think of. No, I'm just pretty normal right now. Just been here.
How about you, Nos?
I got the results back. I am sterile.
Good.
There are no little boys. There are no little boys in the load. The gun has been unloaded. So I got the results back Friday. Actually, I provided a sample on Thursday. So.
Right.
And so it worked. The vasectomy worked. My doctor is a genius. So
they are normally pretty smart.
Yes. So it's great. I'm very, very excited. It's
as
my
Phil
dream.
asked in the chat. So where have you done it?
You can do it anywhere now with no consequences. It's fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. 0 consequences.
So there's that. I guess my work is currently collapsing. We've had every single person who makes pizzas quit yesterday, so that's pretty exciting.
And that's why you just woke up before the podcast.
Yes,
the pre-show saw all that.
Yeah. I was there until like 2 a.m. last night. So it was just basically just me, a couple drivers, and the franchisee, the big boss, is in there. So, yeah,
that's one of those days where you actually had to make pizzas instead of having fun and driving around. Unfortunately,
yeah, I mainly got pizzas out of the oven. That was my job for the day. That's usually what I do because I just hate making pizzas so much. It's so awful. It's so terrible. So yeah, I got that. So that happened, or that is happening. I guess I can give an update next month on whether or not the ship has been righted. It always does. The thing always goes in cycles. Like, it'll be good, then it'll be real bad, and then it'll be good. So.
Give us an update next month.
Yes.
Back to selling cars, Remo says.
Hell no.
I think that ship sailed. We should talk a little bit about if you've got no more other updates, no, so I don't want to cut you off too early.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think back. I don't think I have anything else that's happened other than the trauma of $1,000 mechanic bill. I needed. The green Miata needed 4 new rotors, 4 new brake pads, and 2 new calipers.
Oh
boy!
So
lovely. Hammer, have you got any life updates before we move on?
Nah, not really. I don't have a life.
It's never good to have updates on it if you don't have one.
That's exactly right.
Oh, jeez.
Also, I think we're gonna hit the RP goal on the podcast.
Oh wow!
Have you noticed this?
The stream week's RP goal of 500,000 RP to unlock an 8-hour stream tomorrow. So yay! I'm not going to be dead by the end of that at all.
Oh wow, 8 hours! Oof, man, that's actually so hard. Ooh.
8 hours at the end of 10 consecutive days of streaming and getting up early in the morning to go karting and a full weekend of constant streaming.
Yeah. I'm only messing with it. Especially the karting. The karting is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it.
Yay, everyone did it. Good job, chat. Good job. 500. You got it. You unlocked the 8 hours. T-shirt giveaways every hour tomorrow. So you've unlocked yourself an extra T-shirt giveaway there.
What a good dog. I like that you got the dog excited. Whatever you went, yay.
Yeah, I got excited and she was excited.
Yeah.
She knows that my parents are coming home soon because I started cleaning.
That's
how I think she knows.
Yeah.
She's getting excited for them coming back.
Then she knows the pattern. All right. Let's move on to can we talk a little bit about Twitch? That's a pretty good response, honestly.
Yeah. That's
good old Twitch, eh? They've not been in any controversy whatsoever.
No, nothing's happened. I don't know what you guys talk about.
So for those who don't know, Twitch, the most notable thing, I guess, has been the fact that they've made changes to the revenue split. So basically YouTube and all these other platforms offer at least 70-30, so that the creator gets 70%, the platform YouTube takes 30%, so subscriptions on YouTube or whatever, you give someone a super chat over there or whatever, you 70-30 split. Twitch has always been 50-50, and for a long time people have been wanting 70-30, give everybody 70-30, make it fair, make it the same as your competitors. And then there's also a subset of streamers who got put on 70-30 contracts when they hit a certain number of subscribers. For me, it was 500 paying subscribers if I had that for a bit. And that's why we did this stream week back in 2017. The very first stream week was to do a push to 500 subscribers so I could get put on that 70-30 contract. And here we are. 5 years later still doing the stream week, but it's not for that anymore. So yeah, 70-30 split for some creators, but not all of them and not most of them. Yeah, have to have been over a certain amount and stuff like that. And it was never very clear how you got that. A lot of people, you wouldn't have known about it, most of the time. It's not as if Twitch told you, oh, get to this amount and you automatically unlock 70-30. You had to talk to your partner manager and, he had to agree to it and you drew up a new contract. So it was all a little messy. So, people just wanted 70-30 across the board. Let's make it fair. There was, they use a voice thing or whatever it is that they use to, one of the top voted things on that was to give everyone 70-30. And Twitch actually announced recently, was it last week, I think, that they will not be doing 70-30 across the board. And in fact, the partners who were on a 70-30 split will go down to a 50-50 split once they've earned over $100,000 from subscriptions.
But Broughy, it's okay. You can make up the loss in revenue with our new ad sharing.
Yeah, it's all right. You can just run more ads. It's fine. In fact, I'm going to do one right now. There we go. I've just run an ad. I'm making money. It's fine.
You actually just run an ad.
Yeah. I'll talk about the ad thing in a minute because I'm running a little test. But
well, see, everyone's subscribed here. Though.
Yeah, most people are subscribed, so I don't see it anyway. Yeah.
So like the 3 poor souls that aren't subscribed.
So it is actually for it's 100K per year, and the idea is that it's basically it's not affecting me. I'm not making 100K from subscriptions every year, but it's going to be affecting a lot of the big streamers. If you've got, I think there's one guy now who I think he's got 100,000 subscribers or something. His community's just gone crazy. I've seen it on Twitter. So he's got 100,000. I mean, let's work it out. This comes into effect in July next year, I think. So it's not going to affect it now. But say you have 100,000 subscribers paying $5 each.
Ooh, then you're fine. We're getting that degree to use. When's the last time you used that degree of yours?
I know, right? And then, so that's $500,000. You get, under normal circumstances, you get 70% of that, which is $350,000. You'll get the first 100,000, but that second $250,000, you're going to be getting. Let's see. I think it should be. This should work out right. I don't know whether that worked out right. 178, I think. So he's basically going to be he's going to be like 75 grand less, monetarily, for that year. Just from no, that's just 75 grand gone. He's doing exactly the same thing. It's all the same number of people subscribing to him, and then it's 75 grand out of pocket just because Twitch have decided that the Twitch is too expensive to run.
I think what Twitch was hoping, the response Twitch was hoping for here was a fuck rich people response, right?
Yeah,
But like they failed to see is that Amazon is a lot richer than people making 100,000 a year, right? Like, it's
and
the opposite.
also the streamers are rich people that we like for the most part, that people like,
Yeah, they're getting rich because people are actively choosing to subscribe to them and give them money. It's like, and the way that they did this blog post and the way that they worded it was so bad. And it was like, oh yeah, we're doing you a favor by giving you less money, and we're giving you all these ways to make ads, make the money back with ads, which doesn't ruin the experience for everybody else at all, and ruin your experience for the viewers. No, they're just Twitch are doing the wrong things from a community perspective. It seems recently.
The funniest thing to me was. These servers, which are owned by our parent company, they're really fucking expensive, guys. All right, so
it's
like,
poor baby.
What?
Yeah.
You own the internet. What's going on? Don't make that your excuse.
Oh no, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here,
Always.
aren't I? Oh no. Okay. I think
Maybe they
we've
should
talked about...
cut some of that staff that are obviously doing nothing. Maybe that's how they should cut costs.
The problem here. So the problem here is what the main the main thing we're comparing this to, right, is YouTube, right? There aren't many other like services that offer like streaming and video stuff like this, right?
Hey, OnlyFans offer an 80-20 split. I might go over there.
They don't do video, do they? They do video hosting?
Of course. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
Surely.
Yeah, there's video over there, I'm sure.
Okay, maybe.
Not live,
sure.
I don't think. Well, maybe there is live, I don't know.
I mean, I've heard.
Yeah. Ooh. The problem is we compare everything to YouTube, and YouTube is in the what I call the Valve position, where the products they make don't need to make money. They just need to make you use their ecosystem, or like Apple or something, right? Like YouTube doesn't actually make a profit. This is like a very famous business fact.
Yeah.
The YouTube doesn't make a profit, but they don't need to, because what they're doing is they're enhancing the main business's goal, which is Google, of having more data collection and having more ads to run and share and stuff. Like it's just an economy of scale thing. Like the more ads you show, the bigger like pool of advertising you have available to you, the more advertisers you'll get, because they want the bigger pool or whatever. And it's just the economy of scale is ridiculous. And so like YouTube doesn't directly make money, but it gets you to have a Google account, and it gets you to have all your data tracked and stuff like this, and it'll make money through like all of the other Google services that
it's like
use ads and stuff as well.
Console creators like Sony making a loss selling the PS5 because they're going to make the money back selling a subscription to PlayStation Network and selling the games and things like that.
Exactly. The console itself is cheap, but the controllers and the online stuff is all not, right? But it's exactly that. The problem with Twitch and Amazon is that it's quite clear that Amazon just wants Twitch to make a profit.
Yeah.
And Amazon doesn't have as big an advertising thing as Google does. Like, that's not their whole thing. Like, Google's entire business is advertising. That's what they are. They're an advertising company. They're not a search engine. They're not a video host site. They're an advertising company. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But Amazon isn't that, is the problem. And Amazon wants Twitch to make a profit, like actually make money. And that is just not a thing that can be done easily with like a live streaming and video hosting service. Like, yeah, the numbers they posted on the website saying like, look how expensive Amazon servers are dumb because you obviously that you are Amazon, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're still getting like it's still costing Amazon money. Like, they're not paying themselves, I don't think. Maybe they have some kind of deal, but it's still taking like the Amazon has to run the servers and own the hardware, and it's like less servers and hardware they can sell to other people with like AWS and stuff. So I get it. That's why all this is happening. That's why they don't want the bigger split. That's why they're trying to run more ads to build like an advertising business. That's why, I don't know, there's all the money hungry changes like the super chats and all this other stuff. It's why this is happening. It's because they have to run a profit. I'm not saying it's good, and I am saying corporations are still bad. That's the reason. Like, people can't understand the logic behind it.
I feel like there's better ways that they could like turn a profit though, other than these like dumb decisions. There has to be, surely.
I mean, I feel like they've thrown so many like new features that are just being dumb because they're not connected with what the community are wanting, that they're throwing all, like, I've got enabled on my chat right now, what's it called? Super cheers, or it was previously elevated chat.
That's it, yeah.
Which is basically like super chat on YouTube, where someone can pay $5 to have their chat elevated and prominent in my Twitch chat for 5 minutes, or you can pay $100 to have it prominent for 2.5 minutes. Whereas, YouTube does that all baked in with just a regular super cheer donation that they have on YouTube, it will be shown, and it's certainly a hell of a lot better than $5 for 30 seconds. But like, they're just throwing all these things in, and the amount of money and time that they're spending developing these ideas that are ultimately stupid and useless and aren't really connected with the community, what the community wants. If they just actually used those resources properly and developed things that, it feels like they're just not making the right decisions because they're not connected with the community.
Unfortunately, as someone who works for a big corporation, I can absolutely see why that is the case, because that's just big corporate design. It's shit. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And you always end up with features that are either incomplete because requirements haven't been specified correctly, or just stuff that wasn't wanted because research isn't done correctly.
Yeah.
It's always the case with big corporations, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I want to stress, I'm not defending it. I'm not saying the changes are good. It's bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I really hope to see like a mass exodus of all of the biggest streamers from the platform. Like, I mean, I know that's not going to happen, but that would be very cool to see. But if YouTube are
smart, like, this is the time. YouTube have already been poaching a lot of the streamers from Twitch, or some of them. This is where they go hard on that now and poach a lot more.
As we're going to discuss later, I don't think Google's that smart.
No, okay. Well, the one of the sticking points from this blog that I wanted to quickly touch on was we're talking about the cost of the video services from AWS and things. It says live video for this is the example that he gave in the blog post. 100 concurrent viewers who streams 200 hours a month are more than $1,000 a month. Who's streaming 200 hours a month?
Yeah, that is pretty unreasonable. But like, I don't know. Like, it's
also,
are they just using clean numbers for this? Is that
it's all about.
They're using not the amount that Twitch gets charged for the servers, because obviously they don't get charged that much for the servers.
Oh yeah, they're using the published rates from Amazon Web Services interactive video service. Yeah, exactly.
It will obviously be less.
They will get charged an amount, but it's corporate funny money, just moving money around the corporation. It's not.
Well, I think it's more like parent company loss revenue, right? Like, than anything. They're not paying anyone. It's except like for the electricity and the hosting and the equipment and everything like that.
But also, like, if someone's got 100 viewers, you would expect that they would have maybe 100, maybe even more subscribers. So they're bringing money in that way. They might not be bringing as much money in as they're going to be spending if they're doing 200 hours a month, but I also feel like that's an excessive amount. Like, it feels like in this blog post, and I think the reason that it got such a negative reception is that they tried to dance around it and give reasons, and frankly shit reasons, why they're making bad decisions.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thinking that the community would be like, oh great, we can run more ads, that makes total sense, thanks.
It really does scream to me like desperation. Like, I don't know if you have it in here or not, but they also, in Korea, South Korea, where server hosting is like way more expensive for some reason, I'm not sure why, but it is. They're actually restricting streams to 720p.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah, and they were experimenting with peer-to-peer stuff, and that would solve a lot of Twitch's problems, hosting costs. But the problem is it would create so much other problems in like delay and consistency of stream and stuff like that. So they've obviously taken.
I think the main problem was leaking IPs as well.
There's security concerns as well. Yeah, but it's just like something is happening behind the scenes to cause them to be so desperate, which is why they're adding in all these, as you say, like completely sporadic. Hey, there's a thing that just makes us more money. Like, bam, like just quick things that none of them make any sense. No one actually wants.
Yeah.
They're restricting quality in like expensive territories. They're making blog posts like, please help us. Please run more ads and stuff. Like
They're really
I don't know.
shoehorning the ad stuff.
They're
really trying to force that down people's throats.
But is it like by the end of financial, like someone from Amazon, Jeff Bezos himself, has walked into Twitch and has said, "You make a profit by the end of this financial year, or you're out," right?
Mm.
Like, I don't know.
There's a little bit of desperation, it seems.
Yeah, and it's crazy to imagine because Twitch is obviously massive, but I am actually kind of somewhat scared to see all this stuff. It's like crazy. So.
But if like the costs of people streaming for so long is a problem, like have a limit on the amount of time people can stream, or it feels like there's so many other ways that
things that would get less backlash than reducing payouts for the richest streamers. I feel like restricting how long people could stream would be a death sentence.
Maybe, but maybe it would be, if you pair that with, okay, we're also going to give everyone 70/30 to match our competitors, like. But to be able to do that, we need to make some concessions elsewhere.
I don't know. Then you're just like that screams even more like, hey, please stream on this other platform. Oh, you ran out of stream hours on Twitch this month? Go to YouTube. I don't know. This is.
I wonder what it is that, like, what area it is that costs them the most money. Like,
it will just be server hosting.
No, I mean like what level of view? Because you've got so many people streaming to Twitch for like 1 or 2, 3 viewers or something, and they maybe just stream their entire game, every gameplay session they do. They don't even really talk about it. They just have it to have some footage there automatically. I sometimes read somewhere, I think that the biggest streamers actually cost them money to have on, because it's like the mid-tier streamers where they make their money or something like that. There was something that I read about that, but I'd be curious to know what it is.
I would have said economy of scale law determines that larger streamers better, right? Because there must be some overhead towards hosting a stream at all. Like a stream to one person or versus a stream to 2 is probably only like a 10% reduction in hosting costs, right?
Yeah.
Like having the extra person watching, like having the overhead of like having the actual stream running and all the people going to the account and all this other stuff. The overhead, surely, but like, I honestly don't know. I don't know from a technical standpoint, but I'd place money on economy of scale law. Here.
Oh, here it is. I found it.
Okay.
It's from someone who worked previously at Twitch. Bollocks. It's not giving me the right thing. There we go.
So it would probably have something to do with like the percentage of your viewership that are paying customers versus not. I mean, because some of the biggest streamers, their percentage of paying customers may be lower than like a mid-tier streamer. I guess that would be
possible.
That would be my guess.
He says, here are the real economics of the subsplit market no one wants to talk about. Big streamers are a loss leader. Every time someone who averages 5k, possibly even lower or higher, every time someone who averages that amount of viewers or more goes live, Twitch loses money because their paid subs are never enough to account for, I guess, that amount of viewers and all the transcoding options, I guess, and things like that. Mid-tier streamers make up for this loss. Mid-level in this case is probably between 100 to 500. You're a size where your subs likely outnumber your viewers. Twitch cannot be profitable without maximizing revenue from this group. And then smaller streamers probably make back what they cost Twitch. Maybe Twitch makes a little bit of money from the ads. So that's why I guess they're targeting the bigger streamers, because it's the bigger streamers that are actually costing them the most money.
That is true. It makes sense. So what they're saying is it's not the straight up server hosting cost. It's the subscriber to viewer ratio.
Yeah, they're not making back what they're spending to give the video to that many people.
That makes sense.
So why do big streamers cost Twitch money? Prime subs aren't free. Serving video isn't free. They have some of the best video engineers, but it's because it's like to do 4K streaming, but it's expensive to serve 4K to that many people. So I guess, yeah, he actually says, what does this mean? Your best chance for Twitch is to have a fair sub split is to adopt progressive taxation of the bigger streamers. The bigger they get, the less you get per sub. And I guess they're doing that now.
Yeah,
he predicted
true.
it. This was January this year, so it was ages ago that he did this little tweet.
Right.
But...
So that makes sense, yeah. So, like, I guess it is just like, now that I'm thinking about it, there's also been a bunch of drama on YouTube recently, them running more ads and they're pushing premium super hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess, is it just like energy cost rises or whatever? Like the cost of user is increasing, whereas revenue per users is not.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So I guess that's why they've targeted. But the opposite, the flip side of that is that they're not helping everybody have that 70-30. They're not giving more money to the lower streamers. They're just saying, okay, it's only the very top that aren't going to get the extra money. So they've kind of done like the worst of everything, but.
Yeah, I feel like this done a little bit different and delivered a lot different probably could have went over a little better.
Yeah.
Especially if you did
the blog
frame
wasn't
it,
very good.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially if you did frame it as more of like a progressive taxation or something like that, because the internet loves that. But it was framed as almost like we're just taking money from them. You know? Like that's how the language was framed.
We'll take away the top streamers 70-30s and we'll give everyone 51%.
Yeah.
Well, no, I meant more for like it would be more transparent on like, okay, if you have over this amount of revenue you get this split, over this amount of revenue you get this split, and like you could I don't know math, but like you could even go to where you're giving everyone 70-30. And then after a certain amount of revenue gained, your share goes down and down and down.
Yeah. And you explain the reason for that because it costs more for the bigger stream. Like if you actually explain the reasons, like whereas that blog post just kind of went, it's expensive to stream on Twitch. Right?
Yeah,
it doesn't really go down so well.
Yeah, exactly. Like so it would make it to where like your small little baby streamers and your mid-tier streamers are all making the 70-30 that they probably should.
Yeah.
And then as you go up and up and up in revenue generated, your share is less and less and less. As you progressively go through it, like literal taxation.
Yeah.
Like if it was framed like that, it probably would have went over a lot better than it did.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's true.
Because me explaining it like that actually does sound reasonable whenever I was like, this sounds completely unreasonable when I started this.
Yeah.
So
that's true. It's just it was terrible communication to say it like that. And they haven't I think it's the fact that they haven't given everyone else the 70-30 and then they haven't explained why they're taking it away from the top ones either. It's just been bad all around.
I don't know if you have this in the notes as well, but speaking of terrible communication, there was that whole browser version.
Oh, that was recently, wasn't it? Yeah, they stopped support for a load of browsers or something.
Well, yeah, but they worded it very badly, but it was like they cracked down on what browsers were able to use the Twitch website. Because there was a massive influx of bot accounts being created. Like the commander root tracks how many accounts were created a day, and they suddenly spiked like insanely for like I think it was either a few hours or a few days, and then Twitch, whatever the hole was in the account creation process, it involved non-common browsers. So then Twitch like locked the website down to only Chrome, Firefox, Edge.
Yeah.
And also Safari, but they forgot Safari existed when they said the tweet. And everyone was like, whoa, why are you suddenly dropping support for all these browsers? It's like, well, and then like it took like one of the devs on Twitter to be like, oh, we did this because of this reason. And then everyone retweeted it. Like, oh, that's why, that makes sense now. And then the actual main tweet the main Twitter account eventually said it themselves.
Just
But yeah,
bad
it's
communication.
it's just all terrible communication.
Yeah, Twitch needs to. Their PR team is doo doo. It seems very bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a quick bit of gaming news. There is something that I had.
One thing on the Twitch I wanted to say though. I think the real attitude is so for this new elevated chat thing. Like, I just loved seeing it on the blog post. That was like, can I opt into this? No.
No.
Yeah.
Can you opt out of this? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's so great.
It's annoying. Yeah. That just
But anyway.
perfectly encapsulates Twitch right now.
Mm-hmm.
So bit of gaming news. There's a bit of gaming news that I wrote down, but we'll save it for next month because I want Andy T's reaction at the same time as well. But Stadia is gone. It's shutting down. It's dead. Finally, officially. And I don't think anybody is surprised. It's good that they are refunding everybody, though. I do like the fact that they're refunding everybody for the games that they bought and any hardware that they bought as well. So at least there's that. But
Yeah, this has been a very stereotypical Google move.
yeah.
There's been a few things that I've seen of note. So, like, first of all, they didn't inform any of the devs that were making games for the platform.
Yeah, I saw.
There's so many game devs that have come out being like, "Hey, I was working on a game and I was talking to them literally an hour before this blog post was posted." What's happened is that, like, none of the people that, like, are working with devs knew either, right?
Yeah.
It was just like some closed behind door, like someone higher up at Google have eventually been like, "Okay, shut it down," and then they've shut it down without telling anyone. Typical like Google / massive corporation move. So there's loads of devs now that are like worried about what the hell they're going to do, because Google was actually paying really well to have your game developed for Stadia.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That they like people were. There was a dev that was like banking on the money from Google to then be able to keep afloat and port the game to other platforms or something.
Yeah. It was a really good deal. It was actually one of the better things that Stadia was doing.
Yeah.
Except when they gave that same great deal to Rockstar, and that's why Red Dead 2's on there for like $10 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
There was that. I did see a really funny tweet. That's I can't remember who it was, but they were saying like, to be fair to Google, it's not all of their fault. They released at a really hard time. It was bad timing. There was a global pandemic where everyone was stuck indoors and had to resort to online entertainment, and there was a massive chip and console shortage. They can't do anything about these factors. Right?
No, this wouldn't be the perfect time to offer an alternative.
Yeah.
With a decent price model where you just pay a couple of dollars a month and you've got access to everything that they have. No, you got to buy the game separately. It was doomed from the start.
I feel like they were doing the game buy the game separately thing because they were offering the devs a really good deal, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's still like they should have just done the Netflix model. Like if it was the Netflix model, it would have just been.
It would have had. It would have been really cool. Least. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. Look at Xbox Game Pass. Look at
Yeah.
But
so,
I mean,
Xbox Game Pass is literally the best thing. Like, one of the best things that's ever happened.
I feel like those things exist as a response to Google Stadia. In some respects, right? Like Microsoft and Sony, which is like, oh crap, that's like, if they actually do this right, they could take our business, and they've done this as like a response.
Yeah, because like, and especially as a PC gamer, like I want PlayStation to come out with their own subscription service, and I can pay $10 a month, and I've got all the PC ports of their first party games. Like that's like I would pay monthly for that for sure.
Yeah. And the final thing is a lot of people were begging. There's a few people that want the controllers to have like a Bluetooth patch, so you can use them as actual controllers, because apparently they're quite nice controllers. You can use them wired, but they don't work wirelessly with Bluetooth because they use Wi-Fi to connect straight to the servers. And lastly, the main thing that's relevant to us, there was one guy that has thousands of hours in Red Dead Online on Stadia, and he is now begging Rockstar for a character transfer.
Oh god,
because it doesn't exist.
I mean, on one hand, I feel for him, but on the other hand, he's the fool that somehow managed to put 6,000 hours into Red Dead Online. So, you know, it's like I pity him in both respects, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was. I saw that. I was just like, "There's no way, buddy. You're screwed. I'm afraid."
I thought that honestly, it was just like because surely he must have been playing on Red Dead Online with people on the PC version. I thought that it was just like the PC version, so he could log on to the PC version and he would have his character there.
I actually don't know if it is the PC version.
But that means surely he would have been in like lobbies on Red Dead Online just on his own. Who else was playing Red Dead Online?
That's the ideal Red Dead Online experience, though.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Oh yeah, I found the tweet at 6,000 hours almost. He has, yeah.
God.
Jesus.
Yeah, the guy who was running the Stadia, I can't remember his name now. But like he's the guy who oversaw the Xbox One launch.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole DRM stuff, and you can't share games with people, and you've got a game, you have to be always online and stuff, and completely set the Xbox back years. So he's doing really well so far. He's gone from that to Stadia. How does he keep getting jobs?
I was going to mention that actually. His track record, not good.
I'm sure there's something before that as well, but I can't remember what it was.
He went from PS3 to Xbox One to Stadia. Good job, mate.
Hopefully he goes to Twitch next and we get to watch it crash and burn.
Yeah, there's a Stadia server for Red Dead Redemption 2.
There's a Stadia server for Red Dead Redemption. Wow.
So that guy's screwed.
Oh, good lord.
And then the sad thing is, it's totally within their power to like allow people to transfer.
Oh yeah,
like.
Yeah, it may. Now that I know it's its own server, perhaps it does happen, but who knows?
Wow.
Well, no, it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it could. It is physically and materially possible, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's easy enough for them to just take those character stats to the other platform and just tie it to a social club account or something, but they won't do it. All right.
Hopefully GTA 6 online will have cross-platform progression.
I hope so. I want it cross-platform everything. Like not to the PC maybe. It has to at least be cross-platform between the consoles. I mean, I was disappointed that Expanded and Enhanced wasn't that, honestly.
But I don't know. I don't know if
cross-platform play, cross-platform progression, so it doesn't matter where you log in, your character is there. Like it needs all that.
Yeah, I don't know if Rockstar will do that, but
no, they won't. But then Sony are bitches with that, aren't they? Like it's like if someone spends more money on Xbox, and then we want a portion of those profits because we've put cross-platform in, and yeah, probably won't happen, but we can dream. Racing Corner, I've got nothing to say really. There's nothing down in Racing Corner. Max Verstappen's going to win the championship again.
The qualifying a few hours ago was alright, but
yeah, it was quite. Oh, there's all the cost cap stuff that's come out in the last like 24 hours. So there's basically a cost cap now from last year onwards. The teams can't spend over a certain amount of money, and it seems like last year 2 teams did, and one of them did substantially.
And it seems like it was Red Bull.
Yeah, the team that won the Drivers' Championship from that year.
This is it. This is hash blessed. This is how all the Lewis fanboys get their way.
Yeah.
Lewis wins the championship because Red Bull and, by extension, Verstappen and Perez are disqualified.
Yeah, they cheated the money and overspent and developed the car too much. And
that would be such an incredible twist. It's terrible. I hope it doesn't happen. But it would be amazing if it did.
Of course, high water, Lewis Hamilton will win every championship.
I mean, if 2021 isn't already just the especially the ending, the way that it ended, the most ridiculous, stupid season of all time of Formula One, that would just cement its place in history if that happened. It would just be the joke season.
Almost a year later, it gets decided. Yeah,
we're gonna see if they how hard they come down on these people and what they're gonna they're gonna do to these teams, because it basically extends into like an advantage for this year, an advantage for next year if they're overspending. So then they've said they're going to be very harsh on it. So it'll be interesting to see what the FIA do, because there's no precedent for this. This thing, there was never a cost cap before in Formula One, so this is all new territory.
Yeah, no one knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll follow up in Racing Corner next month probably.
All we know is Lewis Hamilton is the true champion.
Speedrun Corner.
No, I want to hear about this.
I tried speedrunning.
Yeah?
I hated it.
Oh, okay. Well, standard.
Wait, what did you speedrun? What?
Okay, right. The thing that I speedran probably had a reason, probably had an influence on why I hated it. I'm not poo-pooing speedrunning at all, and overall, I did G-Fred.
Oh.
I went for the G-Fred world record solo.
Oh, okay, cool. So what you did is you biked into the ocean, you swam, then you got to the highway, there wasn't a 9F, and then you reset run.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I remember one of the first things you asked me to do was to speedrun G-Fred.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no.
Yeah, no, it's dumb.
It was fun to watch. It was the first day of the stream week.
Was it fun to watch?
People are saying it was fun to watch. People enjoyed watching me crash and burn. But I will say that
sadist.
It was but there are people who've been doing this. Obviously, Sarah, who has the PC world record, has a crazy time. Verdalith was in the chat, and like he's got the record on a few different platforms now. And like, there's a number of people who do this and like doing it and are masochists because of the RNG involved in it. But the thing that was interesting, because I really wanted to have the proper full speedrunning experience, so I had the splits and the timer, and I had it controlled by my my pedal. So when I got to the freeway, I pressed the pedal and it split, and I saw how far back or forward I was. But the thing that got me is that I was, even at my best on my best runs, and I only did it for a few hours, but I've done loads of G-Freds over the years, just never on my own. But I was always about 10 seconds behind the record that I was going for, which was the slowest of the records available at the time on PS5. I was always still 10 seconds behind, even just at the freeway. And it's like, okay, where are people finding 10 seconds on this little swim and little run? And then you start to see the like, and I did get quicker, honestly, I'm going to be quicker in future G-Freds because I learned certain things in certain parts, but it's only by really digging down deep into the minutiae of each little movement that you do that you see where this time can be gained. But yeah, so there was, it wasn't all a bad experience. I did have some fun and enjoyed seeing that little bit. The RNG was what it was, and it makes me the reason that I wouldn't do it again, because I just don't want to put myself through that RNG of having to find a car and then all the other things that can happen. But the last two runs I did, I found an Infernus first of all, and then messed up the run. And then I found a 9F, and I was on for a good run, probably would have got the record. And then right at the end on the Hail Mary parachute jump, traffic came in front of me from both directions. I had to do a little break, and then it ruined it at the end. And then that was it. I was done.
You have expressed so many stereotypical speedrunner things in such a short period of time. I'm actually impressed. It's amazing. So not only were you worried about being 10 seconds behind world record at the start of the run before you've ever finished an attempt, you then failed the end of the run because you only practiced the start of it over and over again because that's what you were resetting. You had a foot pedal, and you were talking about like how deep and complex it can all get. And like, oh, you suddenly realize this isn't as easy as it looks anymore. And that was
a trip.
That was therapeutic listening to you talk about this. That was great. I mean, tell me. 10 seconds and you don't know where. Oof, wow. Oh, tell me about it. That was... that was a thing.
I will say that I didn't go into it expecting anything different. Like, I knew that that's what it was going to be like, but that was my first experience of actually experiencing it for myself. And I think there was too much going on, like having the pedal and having to think about the splits and stuff. It just took away a little bit from what I could really concentrate on and focus on. Like, it would have been nice to have it automatically register a split by the sound of a checkpoint or something like that, so I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, I was going to say you can make auto splitters. That is a thing.
And I enjoyed that aspect of it where I would see that, okay, I'm 10 seconds down there, and then I gained like 14 seconds going down from Chiriyad to the observatory, and then I was on world record pace and on the last run, and like I enjoyed that aspect of it. But then I thought about how long it would take and how many runs I would have to do, even after I've done 200 of them on streams. It's a very different thing when you're actually trying to do it properly. That I just thought, I do not have the mental capacity to do this. I think I've got the ability if I was to put enough time into it, but I don't have the capacity. I just could not sit and do it for that long. I'd want to do other stuff instead. So that was my speedrunning experience.
So by the end of it, you even burnt out. Wow, this is incredible. It's getting even more.
I've burnt out as well. I've gone through the full spectrum, I suppose.
Full speedrun experience in 2 hours.
You sped ran the speedrun experience. That's great. And by the end of it, you burnt out. Amazing. Do people ask you constantly to do it again?
I haven't had that much, but I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned on one of the G threads that I did a speed run. So as soon as the YouTube crowd get knowledge of that, then they'll be asking for me to do it again. But I can't. So,
and also, like, there's something to be said about speedrunning something that is so niche and arbitrary that it like actually doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter in any capacity whatsoever.
And then the thing is, at the very end, I was actually really happy that I messed up and didn't get the record, because Verdalith, whilst I was doing my speedrun, and I knew this was going to happen before I even started, he beat the record again. So if I'd got the record at the time that I was set to get, it wouldn't have counted anyway, because he'd already gotten a better time.
Well, you would have had one more element of the speedrun experience, getting beat immediately.
Instant deflation of having lost it immediately. So that was my speedrun experience. It was interesting, but it also, it's why I don't hot lap. It's why I don't go for lap times solo on my own, because I just much prefer racing with people, and I know the benefits of it, and that you learn a lot by trying to go for these hot laps, and a hot lapper is always going to be competitive in a racing situation, but I just don't enjoy doing things on my own like that. I'd rather just learn by racing with people.
I was going to ask you about the comparisons to like a motorsport, like felt there were some, but
there absolutely are. Definitely to like the hot lapping situation of going for a singular lap time. It's just a 16-17 minute lap with lots of variation in between, but the fact that you have the splits which count kind of like sector times, and there is an element to like about it. My brain doesn't work in the way that I can enjoy doing that, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mine doesn't really either. That's why I like using speedrun strategies in casual playthroughs. I'm glad that speedrunners exist. So that I can use their silly strategiruns.
If you had got the record, I would have kept my run a secret for a while. That would have been we'll see. Yeah.
Wow.
Secret world records. Wow. More speedrun stereotypes. This is incredible. I love this. This is so good.
It's part of the stream week, so it's like basically the first thing we did on the stream week this time last Saturday. So it will forever exist as my like 2 hours of speedrunning experience, as a microcosm of the speedrunning as a whole.
Oh man. If you actually had finished that run and got world record, and then Verdalith had shown his world record earlier, it would have been a secret world record. It would have been world record speedrun drama as well. It would have been an amazing stereotypical thing. That'd be great.
Speaking of speedrun drama, you wrote down something about speedrun drama.
We
haven't had some speedrun drama in Speedrun Corner for a while.
Yeah, okay, I guess it is like the last thing on here. Well, it's more YouTube drama, I suppose. So there's this speedrunning YouTuber called Summoning Salt. You may have
Is
watched
that
some of his videos.
The guy who does like the retrospectives of how speedruns and times changed over time. And
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's very popular on YouTube. It really blew up.
yeah,
And he posted recently a video about Mega Man 2, like world record history of Mega Man 2. And it was the longest video ever, and he had just started going YouTube full time and everything, so he was like really putting in work into it and stuff. Unfortunately, a few days after the video came out, the video got age restricted, but like it was only viewable by 18 and over people. And when that happens on YouTube, it like kills the algorithm for it.
yeah.
Like
It's like if it gets demonetized, it just doesn't get shown to people because YouTube don't make any money off it.
He showed graphs of it, and it's like the graph goes up and then flatlines instantly as soon as it happens. And he was just like, yo, what the hell? You know, he went through the whole like Twitter thing of like messaging them on Twitter and being open about it because he couldn't get it fixed. He like tried appealing it and it got denied, and then he finally got responded to on Twitter, and it was apparently because of it was vulgar language or whatever. And there's a part in the video where like I haven't seen the video, but one of the runners presumably does a good run and starts like pops off, right, and starts swearing and stuff. And there's so it's a 2-hour video, and about 50 seconds or 15 seconds or something like that of it in the middle is like some swearing in it. So he got age restricted because of that. So then he made a big stink on YouTube about it. It eventually got sorted out. Eventually he got age restriction removed from it. And then he's been on Twitter saying like, well, it's still flatlining. Like no one's watching the video still. It's still screwed.
Yeah, even if it gets removed in those situations, the video's dead at that point anyway.
Yeah. And it's like really terrible because he's just started doing this full time. And obviously it's a huge, you knew who he was. Like it's like a huge thing on YouTube.
Well, just re-upload, Forehead. Just delete the video, re-upload.
That doesn't work. Because
it doesn't work?
if you do that, you release the new video, everyone sees it in their sub boxes, goes, oh, I've already watched that, and doesn't click it. And then YouTube algorithm slaps you even harder because you uploaded a thing that no one's watching.
Yeah.
You can't do that. But anyway, he went for a bunch of things, and he's just like, he was asking YouTube to like just push it, and I laughed because even YouTube can't control their own algorithm.
No.
But recently, something really funny's happened. It's been age restricted again. It got re-age restricted, and apparently after he went through like a bunch of stuff, it was age restricted because of sexual content. It's a Mega Man 2 speedrunning video.
What?
Yeah, it's just like, what the hell is happening? So I don't know what the latest is, like if anything's happened, but like this is just I wanted to bring this up as an example because I knew we were going to talk about YouTube. It's just Twitch. That like YouTube isn't a big safe haven that people think it is. We go through like rotations of hating one and the other. So the speedrunning community right now hates YouTube, but everyone else hates Twitch. It says, we reviewed your content carefully and confirmed that it violates our sex and nudity policy.
What?
Yeah,
well, the YouTube even confirmed it, so it's not as if like they're going to remove it and it was a mistake, like the first one.
Yeah, no, he tried to appeal it and they said, no, it's got this in it now.
What?
Yeah, so I haven't watched the video, but I
obviously this is a great video.
It's got
vulgar language and sex and nudity in my Mega Man content.
Yeah,
great.
I don't know what's happening, but that was all it was really. That was just a short story. It's just like, YouTube is doing some dumb things and speedrunners are mad. But poor Summoning Salt, after going full time, like finally committing to it after having so many massive videos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bit longest video ever, most work to it. It just gets instantly destroyed.
That's the business, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
The ups and downs that you never know. Right. I think that's everything.
Is it?
Yeah, we got nothing else on the list of the topics.
We have been going for some time, right?
Yeah, it's been over 2 hours.
Yeah, been a long one.
If anyone wants to say anything else, feel free. I mean, No.
I'll just say that life is better when you're laughing.
That's been in your.
Can you even read it
or...
anymore?
Kind of. The lighting doesn't quite. It's bouncing off a little bit.
I don't know what I expected. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all the new subscribers to the podcast channel.
Yes.
For anyone who's a new subscriber and made it all the way to this point in the newest video, there's probably only maybe one of you. So leave a comment and tell us.
That's one person.
It was pretty good. I mean,
who does not speak good English and is not confident enough to post.
Well, I mean, it was pretty good for the channel that we did that little discussion, because I was able to then push the video. I said subscribe because we're going to be talking about it on the next full episode as well, and we got a couple of hundred extra subscribers, so nearing the 2,000 subscribers.
It was a big brain play on my part. You're welcome.
It was. Good job, Nos. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. If you were listening on the various places where you can listen, like Spotify or whatever, thank you guys for watching. If you watched, thank you guys for being here live. And do you want to say goodbye, guys?
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, see you guys next month. Bye bye.